we on? Is this going?
Yeah, go for it. We're
Okay.
on.
Cool. My name is Peter Heitz. I'm a winemaker. I make the wine at Turnbull Wine Cellars as part of an awesome team of people that help me, and I help them make the wine. So that's what I do. Turnbull's a winery in the heart of the Napa Valley, 150 acres of estate vines, 4 different vineyards. They all have individual voices or characteristics, and make kind of fascinating wines. I am a 4th generation California vintner and 14th generations going back in France and Alsace. So didn't fall far from the grapevine, I suppose. That's all I know how to do. And I think that when you love what you do better. So
Probably not the only thing you know how to do, but
that's pretty much the only thing I know how to do. Yeah.
Short list.
Thanks for pointing that out. That's rough. No, it's it's super fun. I love it. It's a farming business the way I see it. We grow grapes, and my job as winemaker is to have respect of the place that we farm, and try to just highlight what each place tastes like in the vintage, and have enough confidence to stay out of the way. Great wine isn't made; it happens. And as a winemaker, my job is to realize that it's not about what we do as people, but it's about what the terroir and the vines do to make something fascinating out of the vintage. So Turnbull is a great place to do that because Turnbull has amazing vineyards, and they don't need any augmentation or help to overcome some lame vineyard site. We don't have that. So it's pretty nice. Ideally, I do very little.
So why do you make what you make in particular?
Oh, why do I make what we make? I mean, the wines are very specific to what the vineyards want to do. So three of Turnbull's vineyards are in Oakville. Oakville's, it's the warmest sub-appellation in the Napa Valley, as far as I'm aware. And our vineyards are the Fortuna and Leopoldina or White's vineyards are on the east side of the valley. They get copious amounts of afternoon sun. So they're rich and fruit forward wines, but those red volcanic soils naturally lift and buoy acidity, and the stony nature of those vineyards tends to highlight texture and structure in the wines. And so we have these rich, opulent wines that still have natural acidity and great texture and structure. That's what those sites want to do. How nice is that? I guess if I could go do anything, I'd probably go make champagne. But what the vineyards that we work with are not suited to that. They'd be a little warm. So little shy on chalky soils. We make what we make because that's what the earth wants to give us.
So you say sets you apart? What sets Turnbull apart? Like, why choose Turnbull over all the other gazillion wines out there?
Oh, yeah, there's a world of great wines. And I guess I don't think that people should necessarily choose Turnbull over other great wines. Turnbull is one of the great wines, and there are still hundreds of thousands of those. We love what we do, and we have a long-standing team that loves what they do. We're very engaged on it. Everybody has a lot of passion for what they do, and we have great vineyard sites, and we have enough knowledge of those sites after working with them for decades that we don't need to get in the way of what nature's doing. The three-legged stool of winemaking is that you have weather and soils, and Napa Valley has both a diverse set of soils that are interesting, and then the weather is benevolent to grape growing. We have hot daytime temperatures, which create fruit that's fully ripe. You have ripe tannin. Tannin sounds like a bad thing, but there's tannin quality and tannin quantity. And so you can have like low quality or unripe tannins, and lots of those, that would be horrible. The best thing you could have would be high quality tannins, and we have that. And we can have high quantity of high quality tannins. And so I think that those vineyard sites are really a key attribute of what puts it all together. And then those cool nighttime temperatures in the Napa Valley. We're right off the coast from the Pacific Ocean. It has super cold water that cools down the nighttime air, and you maintain natural acidity. So all that's in play. The only ingredients in our wines are state-grown fruit and French oak barrels. So there's no woo-ha, and there's a whole bunch of wines that are made wines. Like probably 95% of the wine on planet Earth is a technical product that's made like Crest toothpaste or Budweiser beer. Those aren't bad products, but they're the same if you buy them in Mexico or Paris. It's the same. Should be. I buy those products sometimes, and I don't think they're bad because they're technical in nature. But craft wine is a very small subset of the wine on the planet Earth, and it requires patience, restraint, and great ingredients. And we have those three pieces together. And then Turnbull being a family-owned place, it means that there's not, a quiver full of senior vice presidents that are making oodles of money and demanding their quarterly returns on their investment. The owner of Turnbull understands that if the vintage doesn't provide a good wine, then that wouldn't be appropriate for our own holiday tables, then we should make that. So there's no pressure to make a wine that's not the best wine that we can make that suits the vintage. And we have a deep appreciation for our customers. Without their fandom of our wine, then we wouldn't get to do what we do. So because we're not profit motivated, it allows us to really focus on quality. And because we have good vineyards, fantastic vineyards, they make excellent ingredients that allow us to hit the high notes on that quality bar.
It's nice to have a clear objective.
It's pretty simple. I know that every bottle of wine that we make, if I bought it at retail price and brought it home to my wife and opened it on her birthday or on our own holiday table, she would know whether I was a winner or not. And I know exactly where that line is. So any wine that doesn't hit that bar, quality for price, wine shouldn't be like playing Russian roulette. I've bought wines. I also buy wine. I like to go wine tasting, sometimes I lose, and I hate losing at that. Buying a great bottle of wine should be as easy as buying a great brandy or gin. It should be reliable, but still have the mystery and the intrigue, that kind of heart palpitation and brain ticking that makes it interesting. And so. But there's the average bottle of wine in the world today, I think it's better than it's ever been. But at the same time, there are still bottles of wine that don't deliver on what you pay for them. And I think that's a shame. So we endeavor to make sure that our customers win.
I know you have exceptional taste in champagne. One last question on this topic. Do you have a favorite part in this whole winemaking process?
Favorite part of the winemaking process?
Yeah. Or the favorite part of your job, I guess. It's not just.
I think it's the people I get to work with. I care deeply about the Turnbull team and our total success. And I think when I came to Turnbull in 2007, I thought it was a winemaking job, and it turns out it's more of a people job. That it's about getting our team the opportunity to win, and make people have access to input into how they do their job, why they do their job. The why of what we do is more important than the what of what we do, if you will. And I think that's the best part of the job. The mechanical part of winemaking, the farming, is fascinating and interesting. The turning grapes into wine part is fascinating and interesting, but the real gem of it is working with a bunch of talented people and getting to see them shine.
Excellent.
Including our great sales partner, Springboard. Thank you.
It's a good partnership. So shifting gears just a little bit, it's obviously been a really difficult year, and Napa knows that better than many other areas at this particular moment. So Has there been anything for you on a personal level, like a hobby or anything that sort of helped you cope with this, the challenges of this year?
Oh, you know, it sounds a little white privilege or trashy, but my year's been pretty normal. I make alcoholic beverages, so we farm and ferment fruit into hooch. So I haven't missed a day. I take my normal commute. There's been a lot less cars on the road, I guess. My team of great men and women farming in the vineyard and working in the cellar has been consistent. Um, we rack barrels and make blends and bottle, and we tend to vines and raise baby vines into adult vines and tear out adult vines. And, we've picked grapes and stemmed them and fermented them into wines. We're actually right now pressing. Well, tomorrow will be our last pressing day of the year, and then we'll be barreled down next week. So from a work standpoint, from a winemaking standpoint, from a first going around the sun standpoint, even though COVID and the Black Lives Matter, social unrest, and so important to frame all those things, the political landscape that we find ourselves in, all the lack of movement on climate change and all kinds of things that we are finding difficult this year. One of the things that hasn't changed is winemaking, and so I've been super fortunate. I think it's been more frustrating for my kids and my wife, who and most of the people who watch us. I think your world's been turned upside down with restaurant closures, and you know, God knows I have a ton of friends that are chefs or work in the industry, and I think it's been so difficult and gut churning. But actually, my part's actually been pretty much straight through. I guess I can feel good about my lack of participation in the chaos, and now I continue to make wines that hopefully are brightening up somebody's evening or 10 a.m. Whatever it takes. But my part this year has been pretty straightforward. We've had to adjust to a lot of things and wear masks all the time. And at the beginning, we bottled our 2018 Napa Valley Cabernet in April, I think it was, and it was like right at the beginning of COVID. And for our little bottle line's pretty slow and hand churned. So I think it took us 3.5 weeks, and we went about 50% slower because we had to keep everybody far apart, and we were all wearing like these ridiculous face visors and N95 masks and gloves, and it seemed really scary. Like there was no way we were going to get to the bottling without everybody getting sick or something. And everybody was fine, and we got the wine bottled. But there was definitely been moments of this year that were horrible. But we continue and persevere and make wine.
So last question, what is Peter's desert island drink? And you have a refrigerator on the desert island.
What?
You have a refrigerator available on the desert island. But
Nice.
if you only have one drink for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That sounds horrible. I guess I think that diversity is a good antidote to boredom, just like in this crazy COVID year where we're away from family and friends and sequestered and waiting for the other shoe to drop. Seems like perpetually. I think if I only had like the same pace of wine all the time, it would be a complete drag. I can't imagine that there's like one beverage that would like see me through more than a day. And I mean, I guess if you were on a desert island, you could drink your case of whatever you stockpiled, and then you could just paddle out. But it might come down to that. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. You got to pass.
I guess I do think that it's diversity of that, you know, as a foodie person, as a person that likes a lot of different stuff. It's I mean, I do like get in a rut with my favorite restaurant, and I'll keep ordering the same thing for 5 times in a row because I know I love it, and then I'll branch out because I have to, and I'll be like, why did I do that? It was horrible, and go back to the favorite thing. I am, you know, I'm a creature of habit that way. You know, from Turnbull, from the wines I've made for Turnbull, I would say that Gosh, there's been a lot of good ones. The 2013 Black Label or Leopoldina Cab was a pretty fantastic. It's a big fan of the 15 Oakville Reserve, the 17 Black Label and Fortuna Cab, the 13 Piera. This year, actually, we make a blend of Syrah and with Rhine that comes together. Called Long Laurent. The 17 vintage was pretty great on that. The 2018 Napa Cab actually that's just coming out. I just drank a bottle last night by myself. No, I shared it. I drank the whole bottle. It was pretty fantastic. I was super pleased with it. It was just so juicy and aromatically available, and called me into the glass and fulfilled all that came out. I was blown away. I don't think not to pat myself on the back, but I think that there's not a better Napa Valley Cabernet at that price or anywhere close to that price. I'm sure that Springboard has other wineries that make equally great wines in the same price point. But to me, it's pretty badass wine. So I was very pleased with that.
Well, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know I can hear everybody working in the background. They're probably,
I made a mistake. I was late to the video. I'm so sorry, and I was running from the crush pen, and I forgot to close the door. So there's a forklift beeping in the background, and I'm looking out the window, and I can see where the team, that's the Royal We, digging out the tank, and we're going to be putting that in the press, and we're filling barrels. There's a lot going on out there. So
yeah,
it's
I'd like to get back to it.
Yeah, okay.
Back to work here.